chat? Can you hear me? Well, probably double music. Give me a sec. Let me fix that. Let me fix. Just noticed. Don't say it. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Okay, there. Hi. No double music. Okay. Okay, I shouldn't have said anything. Hi. Hello. How are you today? Are you having a good Saturday? What are you up to today? Did you sleep enough? Did you catch up on some sleep if you had today off? Oh, Rocka. Oeh, vaardigheidsprobleem. Jij bent een vaardigheidsprobleem. This BGM is a bomb, right? I found this, like, what is it? Synthwave playlist, and I thought it would be kind of, like, nice for today. I don't know, like, to diving into the internet for all the information, you know? Hi, Cafe, doing alright? Just been dealing with allergies making me sick. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better soon. Is there anything that you can usually do to help with the allergies? Synthwave is pretty cool, man. Wow, Zero, thank you so much for 2 months. That's jam, even more. And thank you so much, Fishy, for the 5 gifts. I saw that you did it a little earlier. What are you drinking? Oh, did you hear it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like making noise. I'm drinking homemade lemonade. Yeah. Don't say Rockonade. Well, sir, thank you so much for 2 months. Finally, after weeks of working, I have finally returned to pure joy and happiness. Hello, Rocko, how are you? Well, I'm good, now that you're here. How are you? Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for 2 months. MHS, thank you so much. Have lots of fun today. I hope I will. I'm super duper excited for this. This is going to be my first time ever doing a deep dive kind of stream. And I looked to, like, I watched like a few other VTubers do deep dives, but I still don't really, like, fully understand, like, if I'll do it right or not. So if I mess up or something, or if you have feedback like, oh hey, next time this could be better, or you could do this or that next time, or maybe you could blah 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 blue. I don't know. Don't send me blah 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 blue. Let me know. Let me know. Feel free to send it to my morals. Feel free to comment it down below. I don't know. Like, I want to improve. So please forgive this amateur deep dive. What? I'm still an amateur. So we'll be diving deep today. I mean, hopefully. So what I've done is I have done a bit of research, actually. God, I should wear my glasses. On banned cartoon episodes, which was a lot of fun to do. If you don't know that about me, I absolutely love cartoons. Not every single cartoon, but I have a lot of cartoons which I really love. So I had a blast doing this, and there were actually a few episodes that I already knew about. I had a few episodes that I already knew about that were banned, but there were actually quite some episodes that I didn't even know. And some of them are actually episodes that I've watched and that I wasn't aware about, like, that they were banned. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, actually. Hi, how are you? Hi, I'm good, Cameron. How are you? Older ones are generally better. Okay, I was a bit worried to want to go to the next song. I am usually a fan of, like, a bit older cartoons. I mean older, like, I mean, like, I don't mean like super duper old. Like, even, like, I don't know, like, even 10 or 20 years ago makes it old, I feel like. I know people don't like to hear that, but when I refer to newer cartoons, I really am referring to, like, stuff that's, like, I don't know, currently, like, just released on Netflix or something like that. I don't really watch much of the newer cartoons. Maybe I should check it out. Honestly, if I may be real honest, like, some of the newer cartoons, especially ones for, like, adults and stuff like that, I don't know, the art style just doesn't really interest me as much. For me, art style and animation is pretty important. Maybe a bit too important. I don't know. I'm a pretty visual person. So if a cartoon has, like, a good art style, for me, it's like, even if the story is sort of stale, I would still watch it. But if it's, like, the other way around, it would be maybe kind of hard to watch it for me. newer art style is hit or miss in my opinion. Yeah, exactly. I noticed that a lot of like newer cartoons, in my opinion, I feel like they lack a little bit of soul. Yeah. A more recent one I like is DuckTales 2017. I have not watched the newer DuckTales. I used to watch DuckTales back in the day. DuckTales, amazing cartoon. The intro is a fucking banger. How can I not mention it? It's like honorable mention, man. That stuff's so good. Oh. The remake is pretty solid. I should check it out. You say remakes make me a little nervous. I tend to not be a fan of remakes. If it's like maybe like a sequel or something like that, I tend to be a bit more open towards sequel than remakes. I would still give a remake a try, but it is rare that I play or watch any sort of remake and really think like, okay, this outdoes the original. I'm trying to think of like a case where it's, I don't know. I just feel like since you already have the original, like there are just certain expectations that you have, you know. And sometimes it will just never be reached because it is not the original. It's something new, you know. That's what a remake is. And if you're someone who is fueled by nostalgia, like me, sometimes it hits kind of hard. Yeah. I've yet to see a good remake. The original are always better. I think they're probably out there. There's probably some good remakes out there. Perhaps even like remakes which you've watched. Maybe if you watched the remake first and then the original. I don't know. I just think it's especially if you know the original, you know, and then you watch the remake, you just have certain expectations. Maybe if you go in blind. Perhaps that'll do better. And a Maniacs reboot. I'm not even gonna get started on that. I just want my older Animaniacs, man. Very occasionally, remakes can be better. I wouldn't say, like, I wouldn't discourage people from, like, doing remakes, because I do think that there is potential for good remakes, but, sometimes I also kind of question, like, if something's already good, like, why fix something that wasn't broken, you know? I don't know. Maybe I have a bit of an older mindset when it comes to that. But, yeah, today we're not just gonna talk about any sort of cartoons, we're gonna talk about banned cartoons episodes, so... I do wanna give a disclaimer. I wanna say something very important. So, obviously, a lot of these episodes are banned for a reason. Like, things don't just get banned. I mean, some of these are pretty... I would say they're pretty silly reasons, but some of them are pretty serious. I am not the one who banned them. Someone else did. I'm not here to, like, I guess, like, you know, decide if what they did is the right thing or not. I'm sure a lot of consideration went into that, and I'm sure a lot of professionals were taking care of that. And I'm also not here to discuss any controversial topics and my stance on it. I'm just here to discuss the cartoons, okay? Very important, so do not ask me. I'll actually get mad if you ask me. Thank you so much, Zari. Thank you so much for the super. Thank you. Giving me a roast. Thank you very much. But yeah, that is very important, so please do not bother me about that. We're not here to do that kind of stuff. There's other places where you can do that, but here is not the place. Alright, just be cool. Keep it fun. Let's discuss. Yeah. I hope you like my picks. I obviously can't go over every single band episode. I was surprised to find out that there were a ton, like a fuck ton of like band episodes. And one of the reasons is why, like, I feel like a lot of things like which were acceptable like back in the day are obviously not as acceptable anymore now. And there were quite some cartoons that just kept, you know, doing something over and over and over again, and then once they got that ban, a fuck ton of like episodes of like the same cartoon got banned. I'm not gonna go over that. I think it's a little repetitive and boring. Dang, I was so excited to rage about politics. Damn it. Well, you went to the wrong place. Sorry. Darn it. No, yeah, for example, yeah, Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes got a ton of those. Some of them also like have to do with stuff like racism and stuff like that, stereotypes. And the thing is, like, the reason why a lot of these episodes were banned, they're all the same. So I'm not gonna go over those. It's boring. It's always the same stuff. You can look it up yourself. I don't know. Yeah. Looney Tunes are quite something, yeah. They are quite something. How's the level, by the way, of the BGM? Is it a little soft? You want it a little bit louder? Or is it alright? Because it looks a little soft to me. BGM is good. Okay, great, good. It's a little on the soft side. Okay, you think it's good? It's a little soft. Maybe just a tiny bit louder. I can actually see, like, how loud it is. And I usually have my BGMs around here, so I noticed it. It was a little bit on the softer side. Is it distracting now? I mean, I know it's synthwave, so it might be like all those frequencies doing their thing. What up, it's fine. Alright. Perfect. Yes, great. Alright. I hope I did my research well. I did my best. I have actually watched some of the episodes, like I mentioned before. There are also some of the episodes which I have not watched. I'm very interested in watching them. Might check them out afterwards. Did not have the time to watch every single episode. So if there's any misinformation, feel free to correct me. I'm right here with an open mind. Just say, Rocka, you're wrong. Rocka, you're wrong, and then correct me if I manage to spread misinformation, because I'm not here to do that today. Some days I am, but not today. Alright. Rocka, you're wrong. Why am I wrong? You should say with a reason, not with no reason. Get your glasses ready, I swear. If you can like say something like about like why I'm wrong or something, I'm willing to listen. Like, I'm willing to learn. I'm trying to teach you something here. It would be great if you can teach me something. Hi Rokat, no time to watch streams live since the start of September due to work and uni. So glad to be here live today. It's so great to have you back, Micha. I was actually I was getting a little nervous, I'm sorry. It's a bit strange to say, maybe I shouldn't say that. Oh, but I'm so glad that you're back. Thank you so much for coming back, and I hope you have a good time. Yeah. Alright, so I had this real cool thing. I will show you like a scene from like, or not a scene, a picture from like the cartoon. We're not gonna watch the whole episode, obviously. That will cause some copyright issues for me. Don't want that. Don't say bar social. Oi! Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Don't say it. Shh. And yeah, watch along in the future. Well, some of these, I don't think I can do a watch along. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. So yeah, let's get started. So the first one, this is a very popular one. I think this one already got mentioned before. Then we got my little slides in here. I'll tell a little bit about it. Sorry, these come in a very weird order. I tried to get the slides in the correct order on OBS, and OBS was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna work together with you. Why would I do that? You know, so I'm sorry. Get the information right now. So this is a very interesting one. A lot of you might have seen this picture. This was pretty big. This was a pretty big deal. So as you can see in this picture, you can see Jesse and James, and James has boobies, and there is an angry Misty just looking at them while they're smiling and being all smug and stuff like that. So this episode is called what's a holiday at Acapulco, also known as Beauty and the Beach. Wow. Beauty and the Beach. So it is about like Ash and his friends. They finally arrived at Acapulco, and it's some kind of beachy town. And they accidentally destroyed his old man's ship, so they have to work for him. You know, must help him with his business because they destroyed his ship. And in an attempt to like pay him back faster, they I think Misty was it. She enters this beauty contest, and then she finds out that in the beauty contest, she is actually competing against Jesse and James. And yes, both Jesse and James, I think they're the master of disguise. I love their outfit. They're known for, you know, like every time they come on the screen, they have those disguises ready, you know, like, and they do their little model thing, like, prepare for trouble and make it double. And yeah, they have disguises, and then this time, it was a bikini disguise. And James had titties, and they hated it, so they actually did, because of this, they banned the episode. It's not just that he has boobs, at some point, I think he even makes fun of the fact that, if I remember, I really think so. I think he makes fun of the fact that like Misty has small boobs and then he has big boobs, and then there's even a scene where he like holds them and he's kind of like showing them off, like, ha ha ha, ℏ𝕁, I'm bigger than you, you know, or something. So, no, they hated this episode. They thought it was too sexual. They thought it was unnecessary, and there were a few other scenes in here that were also a little bit sexual, and just a combination of it all made it bad. I think they attempted to try, like, they attempted to try, wow, that's like double. They tried to, I think, cut out a few scenes and alter the episodes a little bit. And they tried to air it like a few times, which didn't work out. And then they decided to just scrap the idea, and you know, there was nothing. So there was actually an English dub made for this, but it was not banned. It was banned afterwards. It was not banned in Japan, if I remember correctly. I think it was not banned in Japan, as far as I know. But I might be wrong. So come at me if I'm wrong. I'm here, waiting. But yeah, in America it was definitely banned, which, you know, I have never actually seen this episode on the television. I have seen it, however, on the internet, because I was always really curious about these kind of things. So I watched this, but it was a while ago. But yeah, I've never actually caught this live. You're wrong. What about Europe? I think it was not there, because I've not seen it, and I have watched a pretty good amount of Pokemon. So maybe it aired only once or twice, but I'm pretty sure that it did not air a lot. The Netherlands was already a little bit annoying when it came to cartoons. I know a lot of these cartoons, they also have storylines. You know, there are some cartoons that are very independent. They have just short stories. You know, every episode is a different story. But there are some which have a storyline. And I know in the Netherlands, at least when I was a kid, they had a pretty bad habit of not showing the episodes in the right order, or often repeating episodes, and it was really, really annoying if you kind of wanted to follow the storyline. Very annoying. So, even with stuff like Pokemon, it was all mumbo jumbo. Sometimes it was following the storyline, and sometimes it just wasn't. It was very, very hard. So, wait. Cardcaptor Sakura did that with messing up the plot order. Is it, you mean in the Netherlands? I watched Cardcaptor Sakura in the Netherlands, actually. We did get a dub at some point. I really, really liked it. But I think they indeed messed up. They messed up the plot order, and I think they just quit like in the middle of the season or something like that, and then they just stopped airing it. And I remember as a kid being so bummed out because I wanted to know how the story was going to continue. And that was when I learned about like watching on the internet. So yeah. We had some weird kid shows like Bruno the Purno and Fookie Slim. Bruno the Purno and Fookie Slim were really weird Dutch shows. I watched those. I especially watched a lot of Fookie Slim. They're odd. They're strange. And Rocko changed forever after that. You know what? Maybe, like, I was thinking, like, maybe it's because of that, but I honestly think I was born to be weird. Sorry. I mean, it's a Ben Booba James episode. Well, I mean, you can still probably watch it somewhere. You can still watch it somewhere. It was aired a few times, so it's like not one of those banned episodes, or one of those episodes which never saw the light of day, or something like that. So you can still see it. Well, the Canadian double Futari of Precure was actually never finished. What? Why? What happened? Alright, be patient. I'm gonna talk about more episodes, okay? Let's keep it fun. So yeah. That is this first episode. Let's starting off with this one, which everyone knows. And then we go to the next one. This one is, oh, it's a like a show like targeted towards like kids mostly. So, if I pronounce this correctly, it's pronounced Caillou, something like that. I actually never really watched this. I don't know. It's also not really my type of thing, I think. Caillou. I looked it up and I found that they did pronounce the L for some weird reason. This was weird. So this specific episode was called Big Brother Caillou. And the reason why this was banned was because he was seen pinching his little sister Rosie. He just pinches a baby, and that was enough for people to say, you know what, we will not air this episode anymore. This is bad. We can't do this. Guys, thank you so much for the 5 gifts. Thank you so much. Phantom, aren't we all a little strange? In our own ways, I guess. But I do think some are a bit stranger than others. And thank you so much, Blood. Welcome. Jamstones. Let's jam. Pinching, yeah. No. What they're... I think with a lot of these cartoons, since they're... Like, you should remember, like, a lot of these are targeted to kids. They're not just for adults. And it is, you know, kids learn from, like, seeing things around them, you know? Like, they take example of the people around them. And a lot of, you know, times people are worried that if kids watch this shit, they're gonna be like, you know what he's doing, I'm also gonna do that. I'm also gonna pinch my babies or something like that. So this wasn't actually the only episode that was banned. There was another one where he was seen bullying one of the kids at the school. Also got banned. They apparently did not like violence at all. Couldn't even look at it. So yeah. And God, I kind of hate that, like, all the slides got out of order. There's another episode from Caillou that I will talk about when the picture pops up, I guess. So annoying. But yeah, they hated violence. This was pretty straightforward. Have you seen the reason why he's bald? So what I got was that he apparently had cancer. He was a kid that had cancer. I think so. Why does everyone hate this show? What's so bad about it? I generally, like, I'm not super familiar with this show. I'm not even sure if it actually aired in the Netherlands or not. Like, I grew up not having all the TV channels. So there were just some channels that I did not have. I couldn't watch any shows on it because, you know, it was just not there. I don't even know if this aired. It shows my childhood. Was it in a good way or not? Because it's a spoiled brat who doesn't learn. I mean, he kind of looks like it, though. Maybe he's just a kid also. Maybe he learns one day. I don't really remember, but I feel it was just bland. That's kind of a pity, though. I don't know. When I see it, I don't really feel like this is like my type of show. Guy is one of the most annoying kid shows characters of all time. Damn. Okay. Damn. Those are some big statements here. He's a jerk. What? So why are they so mad about him showing violence? Like, if he's a jerk, that's just kind of his thing, right? Like, won't the whole cartoon be banned then? I don't know. Like, won't the whole thing be banned then? If he's just being mean all the time, like, the story about a brat constantly escaping correction. Wait a minute. Oi, are you? Oi, Fishy. Oi, how dare you? Maybe I should watch it after all. Maybe I can learn something from it for the next brat stream, you know? Thank you for the tip, D. Thank you. Alright, so next one. This, oh god. This was banned. This is a very dark episode of Tom and Jerry. I remember watching this episode. I was a huge, like a giant Tom and Jerry fan. And I remember this episode. I especially remember the end of it. I had to read back a little bit about the plot because I was pretty young when I watched it. But damn, there's a lot of like things in there. I feel like as a kid, if you watch this, you won't really realize how bad it actually is. But it is fucking bad. So the story is essentially about from what I can see, like in the beginning, you kind of see Tom sitting on the train rails, being all depressed and stuff like that, and then Jerry looks at him, and then he has this little flashback thing going on, to how it happened, why he's depressed, why he's sitting there, and it just shows the story about like Tom and Jerry were friends, but there was a lady and Tom liked this lady, and he wanted to raise her up. He wanted to get together with her, so he tried to get her attention by, you know, giving her stuff. But there was always this other cat that was like one-upping him every single time because he had more money or he could do it better or whatever. And every single time where he would give this lady cat a gift, you know, she would just get distracted by this other cat who had way more stuff than him or something like that. And it went as far as, like, at some point he tried to, like, get her attention by getting a car, and he went as far as to get into slavery. I think he sold himself to slavery to, like, pay off a car, and it was like a payment that would last over like 26 years. Insane. And he arrives with the car, and that other cat with the money shows up, absolutely destroys his car, and drives off with like his lady or something. And then he gets so depressed that he just decides it's not worth it anymore. Let's end it, you know. And then at some point Jerry is happy because Jerry does have like his lady friend. And he's happy that she's loyal and stuff like that. And then later he finds out that apparently she was also just with another dude. So Jerry sees like this other lady mouse pass by in a car with another dude, and then he also gets depressed. And they both get fucking depressed. They both end up on these rails. They're both just sitting there, and at some point you can see the train driving towards them. And then you can hear like the whistling and the sound, and then the episode just fades out. And well, it's up to you to decide what their fate is, I guess. It's really, really grim, really depressing. It just ends like that. It literally just ends like that. It's just an episode that leads to like them essentially suiciding together. Very dark, and I can honestly see why they took this out. Yeah. This is insane. No. But I remember watching this. Was that for kids? I mean, the thing with cartoon is I feel like a lot of times they say that the target audience is kids. Not every cartoon, but a lot of them. But, you know, it's still adults working on these. And I feel like a lot of times they drop in like some random jokes, references that are actually pretty mature, and as a kid you won't really get it. I mean, I watched this episode as a kid and I had no idea what was going on. Thought they were just sad. It never really like hit me that they killed themselves, you know. But you know, when you're older you do realize that. So yeah, I guess it is indeed targeted to kids, but you know, sometimes there are pretty mature themes, pretty mature jokes in cartoons as well. Cartoons in the 40s were aimed to everyone since they were mostly in cinemas. That would make sense. I think it's also, that was maybe also the kind of mindset or something that indeed everyone could enjoy it. Like, and honestly, with some cartoons, I think it's pretty skillful how they do something like that. How they like kind of like put in a joke that a kid would never get, but you know, maybe an adult would get a good laugh out. But I feel like Tom and Jerry was a bit insane when it comes to that. A lot of the episodes are amazing. Love Tom and Jerry. Love the humor, love everything. But there are some things in Tom and Jerry that are extremely dark. And I'm kind of happy that I didn't get it as a kid, because I think I would be really depressed if that was the case. Yeah. One is on Sully is great. Hey Arnold was good at that. Hey Arnold was fucking amazing at that. I watched the fuck out of Hey Arnold. And also something else about Hey Arnold. God, have you ever heard the music on that? Have you ever paid attention to like how fucking good the music is on that? And I'm not just talking about like the intro, like your little like you know, the fucking ending is a fucking banger. Just the music throughout the series is I swear it's a fucking jazz band sitting there writing insanely good music for this kid show. Like, why? why did they go so hard on this? That's why I like cartoons. Yeah. It is insane how hard they go at it. I really appreciate how much time goes into this stuff, animating everything, just the music, the planning, stuff like that. It's so amazing to me. Cartoons really inspire me. Sounds awesome. I love jazz music. It's insane. God. Tails was quite mature, honestly. I think it was mature. And I think it like, you know, dealt with a lot of like mature topics, but I think it's still something that a lot of kids could relate to because it was essentially about just growing up in an urban area. You like jazz? I love jazz, baby. So yeah, it was really just like it was a show for kids, but I think it was a great show to watch when growing up. Alright, so yeah, this super dark episode. God, what was it called? I just did that from memories. Oh, it's called Blue Cat Blues. If you want to watch that, it's called Blue Cat Blues. If you're in for some depression, watch this, I guess. Apparently it was also banned not just for suicide, but also alcohol. And you can still stream it on the Boomerang app. Cool. Totally not sponsored or anything. Jazz karaoke at some point, Malachi. I did a jazz karaoke for my membership's opening, but I was thinking of maybe doing one again because I love jazz. Surprised the slavery part didn't get it kicked. Yeah, it says here that it is just the alcohol suicide. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the slavery part was also it, but I think, you know, it was a pretty quick reference. While the suicide was actually, you know, part of the whole story. Like, this whole story was just like, why did he kill himself? So I guess that was like the biggest deal with it. Alright, next. This one. This one, your favorite cartoon again. This is the one I was talking about that I wanted to talk about. This was another Caillou episode. But this wasn't actually banned for violence. You love it. Alright. Wait, let me get it. So, from my memory, I can't find it for some reason. But okay, this kid, Caillou, he goes to, I think, the garden or something, and he finds a dead bird. And he wants to know why it's dead. It's like, what the fuck is this? Why is it not moving anymore? Whatever. And then his dad explains, like, yeah, you know, that's just what happens when you get too old. So then he starts having, like, anxiety, and he's like, shit. That bird is old and he died, and I'm also getting older right now, so that means I'm also gonna die. And he starts going crazy, he starts to get anxiety, and he starts to get afraid of, like, getting old, and he's like, shit, I don't want to get old, I don't want to die. He's having, like, an existential crisis, this kid. But then his parents, like, they reassure him, like, yo, you still got a lot of time to live. Plenty of time to get older, don't worry about it. Or something like that. At some point they buried the bird or something like that. So, existential crisis, and they were like... So this episode got banned because, first of all, it showed a dead bird, which they didn't like. They were like, why is there just dead bird? And second of all, it talked about the topic of death, which they also didn't like. They thought it was inappropriate for kids. A pretty hard subject to tackle. I think, you know, I think featuring death in, like, cartoons or just, you know, things for kids is fine. You know, because it's part of life. But you don't need to give your kid an existential crisis already. I think that's maybe for later. I think something like that's fine. But still, like, that's why they took it down. Why does this sound like the one good episode of Caillou? Maybe you should check it out. Maybe it's actually a good one. Maybe, like, I'm not sure when the last time is you watched the show, but I have with a lot of shows, that I watched as a kid, that when I rewatched them, you know, years later, I look at it through a, like, totally different... Yeah, like, what is it? Like, from a totally different perspective. So you might enjoy it now. Who knows? Maybe you notice things that you didn't see. So, yeah. I'm a Caillou auntie, don't convert me, God. But those are the nicest to convert. When they finally get converted, they'll go hard at it. Haven't seen it in 20 plus years. Who knows? I mean, check it out or don't. It's up to you. Or check out only the Dead Bird episode. I don't know. Maybe, you know, they calmed him down about his existential crisis. Maybe they say something to you that can help you with your existential crisis if you have one. Yeah. Alright, next. Okay, this is also a pretty interesting one. So, Beavis and Butthead, was never really my type of thing. If I recall correctly, I think my brother was he was not like a big fan or something, but he didn't watch it. He watched it more than I did. Has pretty like harsh humor. Is known for that. And this particular episode, it aired, you know, but the show was known for being kind of like humor that's like on the borderline, like on the boundary, like you're kind of like playing with it. It's an adult cartoon, definitely. But this episode, not the show. The show was not banned. The episode was banned because in this episode, this one's called comedians. They want to become comedians or something like that. It's apparently not as easy as it seems. And then there's one scene where they put something on fire, and it was sad that apparently this episode triggered this other person. I think a 5-year-old boy who watched this. Triggered him to like put his trailer on fire. And in the fire, his little sister died. Or was it little brother? I think, yeah. His little sibling died. And, you know, people were claiming, like, that this was the effect of, like, the kid seeing this episode. So they took this down, because they were afraid, you know, like, that it inspired it. And actually, this wasn't the only thing they did. They actually changed the time slot of Beavis and Butthead from like an earlier time, I think around 7 or something, to like a more adult time where most kids were already asleep. So they put it in a much later time slot, you know, to make sure that kids wouldn't watch this and do the stuff that they did in these cartoons. Turns out that although that did happen, people did get killed, it was apparently not because of this episode. It couldn't have been, because apparently the family where this happened didn't even have cable TV. And they only found out about this later. They only found out about this after the episode got banned. So, yeah. It was really just a rumor thing, but they still took like precaution because of this. I think it's never bad to be careful, but yeah. Apparently, surprise, surprise, they did not have TV, so like, Kind of wonder how that rumor started now. Maybe I should look more into it. I should probably look more into it. Also, almost blame it on cartoons. They do it a lot. Cartoons and games, they get like blamed a lot for like violence and stuff like that. And I can see where people are coming from, but I think it's more than just that, you know. Couldn't have watched it via other means. I think it was that, but there were like, I think they actually like looked into it, and it actually turned out that he just never saw it. This was like in the 90s, by the way. Early 90s, I think? Something like that. Nothing burger. Essentially. By the way, dude, this BGM goes hard. Next one. This is another cartoon that I have actually not watched. I think it was not aired over here, but I might be wrong again. I think it was called Gargoyles. Let me get the slides. Damn it. Maybe it's gotta fuck up everything, you know that? Here. Gargoyles episode is called Deadly Force. And in this episode, you've heard a lot about this show. I heard this was really amazing, apparently, which makes me really curious. This actually does seem like something I would watch. But I really don't recall seeing this over here. But, this had a lot of controversy. Controversy? I'll probably say that wrong. But, in the episode, there's a guy that accidentally shoots his friend. And, you can see her expression as she is shot. She falls to the ground, and there's, like, blood on the floor. She's just laying there in a little puddle of blood. And the episode was actually meant to, like, you know, serve as some commentary for it, like gun safety and control. But people thought it was too graphic and too shocking, so they took it down. temporarily. And then they edited it. I think they removed any sort of blood, they removed most of the scene, and then they aired it again. Because yeah, it was too shocking. Don't remember blood. It could be that you watched the edited version. Because they took it down and then they aired it again. The blood was removed later on. And it was mostly banned for both the gun violence and the blood. Was this show made for kids too? I think it was definitely made for a younger audience, but I wouldn't say like young kiddos, something like that. So they just altered it or something like that. From what I read, like I did not watch this episode, but from what I read, people said that the edits were a little awkward though, and I don't know, like it didn't really make much sense. So, but I guess maybe if you haven't seen the original, you don't really know like what you're missing, I guess. They just had to censor it, yeah. They just took out the blood and like took out most of the scenes of that specific part. It was pretty mature. I mean, it deals with like a mature topic, which is definitely an important topic to be able to talk about, but you know, it's kiddos, so. Menace is a trip down nostalgia lane and a history lesson all at the same time. Thanks for the stream, Rocko. Oh, thank you so much. Makes me so happy that you're liking it. I think you're liking it. I hope so. I did quite some what is it, homework for this, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm glad to share it with you. And yeah, I hope you like the rest. I mean, at least the core message was still there. I guess that's true. I guess in that way you could maybe say that, you know, like getting too graphic or something, it's not really necessary to bring a message across. So I can understand why they did this. Alright, next one. Very popular episode as well. Another episode from Pokemon. I think most people know about this, if you know about like a little band cartoon. This is the Porygon episode. Porygon episode, I think it was also known as the killer episode. And there was this giant rumor going around that there was this scene with Porygon where the screen was flashing a lot. And they said that like this apparently caused like a fuck ton of seizures. This caused a fuck ton of seizures. It turns out that even though like some accidents did happen, the rumors were kind of exaggerated, as usual. They were kind of exaggerated. It was not like some kind of mass seizure or something like that, but it did cause some seizures, and they ended up taking it down after all. Which I can understand, you know, if it's dangerous. So this is I think it never aired again after that. Sorry, there was something stuck. Never aired again after that. Some is still too many. Exactly, it's still too many. But it's kind of like one of those rumors where it's like, oh yeah, there's like thousands of people, you know, they say stuff like that. Some is still too many. It's a good thing that they took it down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If it's actually harmful to people. It's very interesting to learn about cartoons I haven't heard of and why they got banned. I love learning stuff like this. Super interesting. Thank you so much, Sane. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So yeah, they took it down. I understand why. It's probably not gonna get back up because it's risky. Which is, I don't know. I do really like Porygon as a Pokemon. So I guess part of me is sad, but I can understand it. I think Porygon is like one of my favorite Pokemon. I think it's a very cool Pokemon. Alright, next up. This one. Betty Boop. Very old one. Do any of you know her? This is a very old cartoon. I used to be a huge fan of Betty Boop. My mom used to be a huge fan of Betty Boop as well. So I guess I kind of got her love for Betty Boop from her. Boop boop be doop. But yeah, this episode, it was a very, very, very old episode. And this episode was about, I think what they did essentially was they ate too much candy. And then they had to go to the dentist. And then when they were at the dentistry, they did all this stuff. And then they found this laughing gas. And it ended up kind of turning into them playing with the laughing gas and just fooling around. And then all the things in the room also started to like laugh a lot. They started to laugh a lot, and it was banned because they said that the way how they were using the laughing gas just to go crazy on it, was glorifying drug use. So, so yeah, I don't think it's a drug metaphor. I guess you could see this as a drug. It's maybe not drugs as you know it, but you know. It was just them playing around with the laughing gas, and it just went. They took it too far, and they took the episode down. I'm not sure how strict the standards were back then. I also could not find when it was taken down. But who knows? I don't know how bad it is. Maybe laughing gas isn't a toy. Just maybe. Just maybe. I don't know. Just maybe. But yeah, pretty straightforward. Don't use laughing gas. And yeah, I guess it could be seen as glorifying drug use. But they didn't like it, and it was gone. I get what they meant, but not sure if it was worth banning. I don't know. I don't know how the standards were back then, you know. Like I said, this is like a cartoon that's like significantly older than the others. Could have different standards. Culture was different. People were different. You know, topics that are easy to talk about, like about nowadays, might have been more difficult to discuss back then. Maybe it was more of a taboo back then. You don't know. So yeah, next one. This one was also pretty interesting. Sorry, the screen's a bit broken. Darkwing Duck. I think this was a variety of like DuckTales. And in this particular episode, this was about like a duck who had like kind of like a Batman kind of life, by the way. So he was just a normal duck during the day or something, and then he had this secret Batman-like superhero alter ego that would, like, I don't know, save the world and stuff like that. But in this specific episode, it was banned because there was one scene where his daughter was selling his soul to a character named Beelzebub, so the devil. And a lot of parents, they saw this and they were outraged by it. And they were like, oh my god, satanic elements, we can't have this here. So it was removed. Yeah. It was removed. I'm kind of curious about it. I'm kind of curious. It is very mental. Yeah. I mean for you it might be dumb, but I don't know, some people take this stuff really serious, I guess. And I gotta say, it is a little dark to sell your dad's soul to the devil. It is a little dark. But, you know, like, it depends on the person. So I can understand from their point of view. If I agree with it or not, that's a different story. But yeah, this is the reason why this episode got banned, and I think this was one of the only episodes that got banned from this cartoon. Alright. You really say you love your parents if you won't sell your soul away? Isn't it kind of the opposite? You're just selling them away. You're just selling them off. Okay, next one. Oh, this one. This, I watched this episode a few times. So this episode was actually not really banned, but this episode often gets excluded when they have reruns or something like that. And the reason why is because the public hated this episode, and they have a very good reason why. So this episode was called A Wishful Life, and it is about Timmy, main character. You know, he has to fairy godparents, whatever, will fulfill all his wishes. But in this episode, he goes out of his way, does all these good deeds, and he notices that, you know, all these good things he does for people, they don't appreciate him. And he's like, what the hell? Like, I'm trying my best to be good, and no one appreciates me. No one cares for me. You know what? Maybe I should just wish that I wasn't born, ever. So, you've seen it many times. It was not fully banned. It was, they would often exclude it. Like, the creator of the show actually apologized for this. But wait, okay. So anyway, he goes out of his way, he says, I don't, you know, like, I wish I wasn't born. So he becomes unborn, I guess. And he is hoping to kind of, you know, maybe see people be sad or something because he's not there. But instead what he finds is everyone around him, his parents, his friends, even his enemies, they're all doing better now that he's not alive anymore. They're all doing better. They all seem better off. They all have better lives, you know. The people that are bullying him, usually, they all seem like productive members of society, and he just feels like absolute shit. He's like, damn, you know, I guess it is better after all if I wasn't born. Then, you know, he's like, you know what, if it was really because of me that everyone was sad, then maybe it's time for me to go. Maybe I should just go away. So maybe I should just stay unborn and let everyone else be happy. So he goes to this place where all the children who wish they were not born go, which is apparently this hellhole with fire and whatever. And what he is essentially ready to do is he's essentially ready to, like, kill himself. When I think his name was pronounced Jürgen von Strangle comes and is like, okay, haha, got you. It was all just a test. It was all just a test, and he says, you know what, this was a test, because, you know, like, you went through all of this, and you were ready to, like, suicide for the sake of other people, so you passed the test. Which is fucking dark, by the way. That's fucking mean. And then he says, yeah, that was truly something selfless that you wanted to do, so, you deserve to come back to life again. And then you should remember that whenever you do good deeds, you don't do it because you want a good reaction from other people in return or because you want to be appreciated. You should just do it because it was the right thing. And that's essentially the episode or something. That's kind of like the whole lesson learned thing. And a lot of people, they watched this and they were kind of outraged by, like, how cruel and, like, mean-spirited this whole episode actually was. The creator of the show actually apologized for this, and because of this episode, I think it's not officially, like, banned, but it gets excluded a lot of times. Yeah, it's a pretty extreme lesson, and I'm not sure if that's the right thing. I don't know. It's just, I guess there is selflessness, but this takes it a bit far, and I think it's just a really depressing episode in general. But I remember watching this episode on the television, and I never actually realized how dark it was and how deep it was. I just remember feeling really sorry for, like, Timmy, because I think a lot of us might have had, you know, that kind of thought where you're kind of like, oh, you know what, like, what happened if I wasn't there or something like that, and people are gonna be sad or something that you're not there. But to see everyone just happy when you're not there, that's just painful, isn't it? Suicide is badass. No, you just passed the test, apparently. Thank you so much for the 2 months, Jax. Not anymore, thank goodness, yeah. So, but, I mean, the creator apologized, and I hope that the people who watch this don't take it too serious, I guess. Please remember it's a cartoon, and it's fiction. Yeah. Alright, next up. Oh my god, this one. Let me make it a bit bigger to make it have sense. Make sense. Rocko's Modern Life. Do you know this cartoon? I think it's from the 80s? 90s. I think it's from the 90s. You still love this show. Watch it a lot. It was always on Nickelodeon. It's about this dude, like you see him, he's a little kangaroo called Rocko. And his modern life. But this specific episode, so you have this other character. Her name was Bev. And the episode is about her not feeling loved by her husband. So instead what she does is she invites Rocko over to do all these chores for her. And while he's there, she tries to seduce him and get sexy with him and stuff like that. And that's the reason why the episode got banned. Yeah. There's just a lot of sexual innuendos, a lot of jokes. She is literally just trying to seduce him the whole episode. So, There's a lot wrong with this cartoon. There's a lot of strange things in this cartoon, but yeah, this was ready to get banned because it was just, yeah, it wasn't NTR plot already. Went absolutely crazy. Was so people didn't want anything to do with it. They took it down and it was banned, and I don't think it was edited or something here because the whole episode was literally just about that. Was she always down bad for Rocko, or do I remember wrong? I think maybe she had a soft spot for him, but I think in this particular episode it was worse because she actually tried stuff, you know, like that. She was always nice to him, but in this it was really highlighted. So this is almost every kids cartoon have some level of innuendos, I guess, but with this episode, that was what the episode was about. That was the theme, I guess. So it was kind of like the main story was just about that, which was like, people don't like that. So yeah, maybe as an adult show it would have worked, but it was still a kid show. It was just there on Nickelodeon, and it was removed. Yeah. This one, ha! So this was a cartoon that is definitely, in my opinion, not for kids at all. This one is called Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy is a very, I guess you could say, fucked up cartoon in the sense that it has a lot of fucked up humor. The art is very, I guess, scary and sometimes even gross. A lot of dark jokes. Really, really crude graphic stuff. Like a lot of violence. That's kind of their humor, I guess. I like Ren and Stimpy a lot. Like it a lot. Great show in my opinion, but if it's not for you, it's not for you. Some people don't like this kind of stuff. But I do not think this is a kid show. So apparently the creator of Ren and Stimpy, I have his name right here. I didn't memorize that, but give me a second. Well, creator John 𝕋𝐻𝕗𝒂, that's his name. John 𝕋𝐻𝒂, very controversial creator. He made all these controversial episodes. Was always kind of pushing the boundaries. And the reason why this episode got banned was it was pretty bad. Because there's Ren, which you can see, there's a little chihuahua dude over there. He's beating up 𝐿 with an oar. Getting really violent and stuff with him. There's some references to, like, tobacco. And just, you know, toilet humor kind of stuff. But the big reason why this got banned was because it was kind of the final straw. So this show aired on, I think it was, this show aired on Nickelodeon. It aired on Nickelodeon, and since its creator was always testing his luck, Nickelodeon was kind of done with it. They were like, you know what, you went too far this time, and you've been going too far all the other times, you're fucking fired. They fired him after this episode. This was the last episode that he made for Nickelodeon. And they fucking fired him after this. So, the episode was banned. However, he was picked up by another channel, Spike TV, which was a more adult-oriented comedy channel. And the episodes were aired there again. So yeah, I think that's for the better, actually. It was definitely not a kid's show. When a wacky producer has full control of a cartoon show, yeah. I don't know. Spike was very much so adult-oriented. I don't know. We don't have that over here, so... Ren and Stimpy for me aired on a different channel in here. And just... This is probably in the America country. Ooh, wow. Mysterious country. Yeah. That's what happened. It just got picked up by another show. But yeah, the creator was very controversial. They made a lot of really fucked up episodes. It was... I remember this one episode where... I don't know what it was, but I think Stimpy got mad. Or was it Ren got mad? I think Ren got mad at Stimpy, or Stimpy got mad at Ren. And he was like threatening him and like telling him like what he was gonna do to him, like break all his bones and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know, it was really, really dark. It's crazy. Maybe if you think you can handle it, give it a try. You can watch it. But if you're not good with the kind of humor, maybe skip it. There's other stuff you can watch instead. Yeah, just some casual violence. It was always there. Violence was like a big deal. Ah, this one. I watched this episode a lot of times. I'm from a time when this was not banned yet. This episode, I actually really liked it. Panty Raid. It's a SpongeBob episode. I think most of you guys know SpongeBob. Little sponge, who goes on all these shenanigans with his friends, like Sea Star, Krabs, whatever. All these people. And this one got banned, yeah, because it was a panty raid. This episode is essentially about Mr. Krabs, who is kind of in a... He kind of has like a midlife crisis, and he wants to feel young again. So he asks the youngsters, SpongeBob and Patrick, you know, what they do. Like, he wants to join them, and he wants to feel young again. So, he goes with them, and then he finds out that apparently all the stuff they do is kind of like a bunch of nerds. They're just a bunch of nerds. They go to this place called The Wash or something, and then Mr. Krabs thinks it's gonna be this kind of nightclub, but it's just them doing their laundry or something like that. It is the episode where he actually said, like, this is a pretty popular meme where he keeps saying, like, "Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?" That's the episode. At some point they're doing like this little D&D session even together, but Mr. Krabs gets so annoyed by it, and he's like, "What the fuck is this shit? You know, like, I want to feel young. I don't want to do all these lame nerdy things or whatever, you know, like, this is just like for a bunch of babies. I want to feel young again." So then he organizes this thing where they go on this panty raid, and then they steal a girl's panties to feel young again. And because of this, the episode got banned, because it's a panty raid, and people said that that was inappropriate. So, you know, it shouldn't be aired. Yeah. I didn't know it got banned. I actually found out only later as well, but it did get banned. I think it's still available in some streaming software. That's the case for a lot of banned episodes, which I will be talking about today, by the way. Some of them are actually made, like, available again on some streaming services. But, which I get, you know, like, it's streaming service, so you can choose to watch it or not. But they will probably not air on the television anymore. Yeah. And maybe in some countries it's not banned. Who knows? I think this is mostly focused on, like, America. Maybe Europe as well. You can still find this episode on DVD, but not on streaming. Ah, I see. I thought it was the other way around. So yeah, that was it. Wow! Did you expect it? Peppa Pig! Do you know Peppa Pig? Little British piggy. And even they have a banned episode. What did the pig do? What do you think she did? What do you think she did? She actually got a banned episode. Yes. I was very surprised about this, because I was expecting to see a lot of, like, cartoons which were mostly aimed to, like, towards adults and stuff like that. But then when I saw this on the list, I was like, damn, what did she do? So apparently, this episode is about Peppa Pig finding a spider. And throughout the episode, she learns that, you know, maybe it looks kind of scary, but spiders are not scary at all, and they're not dangerous at all, and they won't hurt you at all. And the episode has a very good message, but there was a concern, and the concern is that they could not air this in countries like Australia, because there are countries like Australia where they have spiders which are actually dangerous, and they were worried that kids who would watch this would think, "Oh well, spiders are safe, I guess," and then start playing around with spiders. And then there are literally spiders which can kill you. So, yeah. It's a show for pretty young kids, so I can totally understand that. Yeah, dangerous spiders. Yeah, I can totally see why. It's totally understandable, but I don't know, I still thought it was a little funny. When you think about like banned, you think about like really bad stuff, but it was literally just because she said spiders were safe. Yeah. That's why this one was banned. And as far as I can tell, it was banned everywhere, not just in Australia. So yeah. All right. I gotta go now. I love learning about the banned episodes. Wait, God, why is it so? Sorry, my chat is being a bit weird. My chat's moving a bit. Oopsie. No, but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you later. Bye bye. Okay, next. Chat is always weird. No, it's like my YouTube chat does not line up with my OBS chat for some reason. Like they're going at different speeds, so it kind of throws me off. No, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Don't worry about it. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Alright. No, don't say. Damn it. I was just saying bye to someone. I'm not leaving. Damn, why are you so mean? Okay though, bye. I'm leaving. Bye. I'm leaving. Goodbye forever. Gone. Gone forever. Go watch Peppa Pig or something. Go watch the banned Peppa Pig episode. Don't say I need to leave. Oi, don't be mean. Alright, all the non-believers came out. I'm just gonna get some milk. Alright, but yeah, let's go to the next one. Don't say 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 rorin. Oi! Shut up! Don't be like that. Don't be like that. Next one! Oh god, I have the same picture. Oopsie. Okay. This one. Arthur. I think some of you might recognize this. Maybe you guys have watched it. There's quite a lot of memes as well. And then there was this episode. And this episode was called... Give me a second. It was called Mr. Redburn and the Special Someone. Yeah. And the reason why it was banned was because... Oh. Thank you. Been loving the educational stream. Thanks, bestie. Thank you so much, Phantom. Thank you. But yeah. Mr. Redburn was getting married. And Mr. Redburn was Arthur's teacher. And he was like, wow. What the hell? Like, I can't believe it. Teachers have a life outside of school. Thought they were just teachers and that's it. Or something like that. But he learns about his life. And he learns about the special someone. And it turns out that Mr. Redburn is gay. And it's a same-sex marriage. And because of this reason, this episode was banned in Alabama. Only. As far as I know. It was only banned in Alabama. It still aired everywhere else. So yeah. That's it. That's it. It got banned for that reason. Yeah. So I guess they can never see the Arthur gay episode unless they go somewhere else. Yeah. That's it. I'm not gonna say anything about that. I have my thoughts about it, but that's how it is. So I guess if they want to do that, that's all. All right. Next up. God. This episode. I love watching this. I think this cartoon has one of the best it is one of the best intros ever. I fucking love it. It goes like, Mama had a chicken, Mama had a cow. That was proud. He didn't care how. And this fucking good guitar riff that he does. Cow and chicken. Yeah, cow and chicken. But yeah, this episode was banned. I think it was not the only episode that was banned, but this was the one which stood out the most. And the reason why it was banned was apparently because Chicken got, he got into cigarettes in this episode. I think he was tempted by the devil or something like that. The devil was looking, he was looking for someone to torture again or something, and he got him into cigarettes, got him addicted and stuff like that. Brought him to hell, made him smoke this like giant fat cigarette down there. And then his sister, Cow, who is also secretly Super Cow, who is a Spanish-speaking hero. She only speaks Spanish. Had to save him from the depths of hell. And the reason why this was banned was because it was depicting underage smoking, because Cow and Chicken were still kids. They still went to school and stuff like that. And it also had hell in it, which freaked a lot of people out, because wow, that's hell. You can't do that. Yeah. I don't know. I think this scene is kind of funny. It's a fat one. It's a big... Look at that cigarette. That's insane. Yeah, this clear why I got banned. I mean, they were still kids and they were smoking, so I guess. Can't believe they recorded from hell. Don't say it. He's taking it all in. Yeah. But no one can see it anymore because it's banned. That's smoking and hell in it. Can't believe it. Next one. Woohoo! This one. Looney Tunes. You might be familiar with the Looney Tunes, and this was a spin-off kind of thing with a younger generation. It was for kiddos, and it was called Tiny Toon Adventures. And this one episode is called One Beer. And as you can see, they're all kiddos, and they happen to find this beer. So they find this beer, and they're like, "What is this thing? Let's just drink it." So they drink it, and they transform into these like completely drunk kiddos, go completely crazy, and they decide to drive. So they drive and drive and drive and drive, and because they're drunk, you know, they end up driving off a cliff, and then that's the episode, and that's why it got banned. Yeah, they just go and drive off a cliff because they're drunk, and that's the episode. So in the beginning of this episode, there was actually a warning where it says, "shows the evils of alcohol," or something like that. But it was not enough, and it was still taken down. And I think it's still available on like the DVD, but not anymore on the television. I mean, not of course because it's an older one, but it was not on the television anymore. Have a drink, have a drive. Go and see what you can find as a song that. Oh God. I think it's especially bad because they're kids. It's just underage drinking, so it's not just like dark as fuck. It's underage drinking. Took it down. It's just, I get that there was a message that they were trying to like. There was a point they were trying to make, but maybe there was a different way to do this. I mean, it's for kiddos, you know. It's Tiny Toon. This is not the regular Looney Tunes. So yeah. Next one. Pingu! And this is not the only Pingu episode that is here. There's 2 Pingu episodes that we're going to talk about. So this one was not actually super duper intense, but you know, Pingu is a kid show. What happened was he was playing with his, I think it was his little sister at home, and things got kind of intense, and he ended up hurting himself. He hurt his beak. And then he had to go to the doctor for this, and he had to get it checked or something. And he was scared because of that, but his mom still made him do it. And the reason why this was banned was because it had blood in it. I tried to look for the blood. This was the only image I could find. It's just a tiny tiny dot of blood. I'm not really sure if maybe there's a more graphic scene. When I looked for Pingu blood, I could find like this horror version of Pingu someone else made, but Pingu was a brat, but also a more tolerable brat. I love Pingu so much. There was this one really scary episode in Pingu. This has nothing to do with the band episode, but there was one episode of Pingu that gave me nightmares, and it was when this like giant ass, I think it was walrus or something, appeared out of nowhere, which was like the scariest looking walrus ever. Yeah, it was the walrus. I think a lot of people got scared because of this. It's insanely scary. You want to see a picture of it? If you haven't seen it, I'll look for it. I'll show you. It just shows up out of nowhere, and for some reason, it's really fucking big. It's a really big walrus. It's like straight up nightmare fuel. Look at this. I don't know what this is. I don't know who thought this was a good idea. It's fucking terrifying. And it's not just that. It's not just the way how he looks. It's the way how he behaves as well. There's one point where he just starts, I don't know, like eating stuff or something like that. Like, oh my god, it's a small picture. But what is he doing over here? You know, he's just eating something. It's so creepy. It's fucking creepy. He looks half human. Maybe he is. Oh god. But yeah, it freaked me out. But yeah, this episode was banned just because it had a little blood in it. It was a kid's show, and it says here that it was banned only outside of the UK and the US. So it might be that you can still see this episode if you live over there. It's like 1 AM right now here, and I'm even more terrified. Oh no. I'm sorry. Alright, next one. Give me a second. There you go. Oh. I guess they are kind of in order. This is another episode of Pingu which was banned. And the reason why this one was banned because let me just explain the plot. So Pingu wanted to go to the toilet. He drank too much water and he had to pee. But when he got home, he was in his father's bathroom and the toilet was just way too fucking high. He couldn't reach the toilet. So he tries to reach it and you see him pee, but he doesn't make it and it all ends up on the floor. So he has to clean up the mess he made, and like his dad helps him make like a little stairs for the toilet, and then he can do his business. But this episode was banned because, you know, it actually shows him peeing. Like no censor, no nothing. It just shows him pee on the fucking floor. And they were like, let's take this down, and I can kind of get it. I can kind of understand why. I could actually find it. I could find a GIF. You can check it out if you want to find it. It's from an episode called Pingu's Lavatory Story. Lavatory, not laboratory. Lavatory Story. Is that how you pronounce it? Probably not. I can't speak English. Don't listen to me. How do you censor pee? I mean, you could just show someone peeing without showing the pee, maybe. You know? The animator had to animate it. I was looking at that and I was like, you know what? Like, what were they thinking when they were doing this? What was going through them? Like, they're literally animating a penguin pee. Like, stop motion. Can you believe it? Yeah, just skip to the aftermath. Yeah, exactly. No, but it just shows him pee. It's stop motion. Yeah, so they had to mold his pee. Can you believe it? It's fucking crazy. Alright, next. This is another Arthur episode. And this was from an episode called Room to Ride. And the reason why this one was banned was because this episode featured this guy who was also from the real world called Lance Armstrong. And Lance Armstrong was first known as a very respectable athlete, but later it was found out that he actually used drugs during every single race. And after they found out, you know, people went crazy about it, and they were like, you know what, we are not going to air an episode with Lance Armstrong anymore in it. So it got taken down because of that. It was immediately pulled from the air, so it's gone. Not a good role model. Not really good. I read a little bit about Lance Armstrong because of this. Was not super duper familiar with him. But I think it turns out like he did like 13 races or something. He never admitted to the drugs, and then like on like the Oprah Winfrey show, he admitted to like doing drugs. And you know, it was out and it was a huge scandal. So this is why they took it down. Next. You see that? This is not fan art. That's real. And this is from an episode called Root Removal. It's from a cartoon called Dexter's Lab, which I absolutely love. I love Dexter's Lab. And this episode was banned because it featured a lot of profanity. It was about Dexter thinking that Dee Dee was rude. And Dee Dee was like, no, I'm not rude. You're rude. So Dexter invents this machine trying to split the root self, like try to remove the root from the good. And I think it was only supposed to be on Dee Dee, but they got into this little fight and then they end up both going into the machine and they get stripped of all their rudeness. But there is a problem, and it is because they get stripped from their rudeness, their rudeness splits into a different person. So they become like really kind and nice, but they create this other Dexter and Dee Dee, which are really rude. And like throughout the whole episode, they're just swearing and cussing all over the place. And even though it's censored, so they use a lot of bleeps to censor everything, it was still seen as kind of bad, and that's why it was taken down. Yeah. Let me pour myself some tea, by the way. I'm out of lemonade. There's something about the bleeps that makes it funnier. I sometimes feel like bleeps, like censored, make it worse. I don't know. Sometimes they make it worse than it actually is. What kind of tea? This is ginger tea. It's ginger tea. I have this tea mix box or something. I just grabbed like the first thing that was on top, but it smells like ginger. Ah, that's good. But yeah, it got removed because of that, of the profanity. This actually reminds me a lot of this other SpongeBob episode. There was a SpongeBob episode where it was also about like cussing. And actually, as a kid, I didn't even realize that it was about that. I didn't even realize it was about that. It was that episode where you have those dolphin sounds. Sailor mouth, yeah. It was like the sailor mouth thing. They have those dolphin noises, which was also supposed to be cussing, yeah. It's a great episode. I actually loved it, even though I didn't really get it. I legit thought that, like, okay, they're not supposed to, like, make that sound because they're not dolphins or something like that. And then later I found out, like, oh, wait, it was just a censor. Did that one get banned too? As far as I know, it didn't, which is a little weird, actually. Sometimes I wonder, like, which one was the more, like, tolerant cartoon channel? Was it Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon? Because my mom didn't allow me to watch Cartoon Network. She said it was bad influence for me. But she didn't allow me to watch Nickelodeon. But there was a lot of weird shit on Nickelodeon, actually. Yeah, there was a lot of weird shit on Nickelodeon. Like, Ren and Stimpy was literally on Nickelodeon. Cartoon Network was great. I would watch it when I was over at like friends or something, but I was not allowed to watch it at home. We didn't have it. Nick was okay, Nickelodeon was definitely the weirdest, but the most controversial. I'm not really sure. Ren and Stimpy, Cat Dog, Rocko. There's a lot of weird shows. Oh my god, I love Cat Dog so much. Such a good show. Alright, next one. Disney XD was my favorite channel as a kid. Disney XD is pretty new. I think wasn't this Disney XD in the Netherlands was like it replaced Jetix, and Jetix replaced Fox Kids. I remember I used to watch Fox Kids. It's not that new. It is. Oh no, like okay. Like in what is it? Relatively speaking, it was the newer one. Like we had a few like channels that like were replaced by Disney XD, so I see it as pretty new. I don't know. It doesn't really feel like that old. It's what? It's no, I do not believe that. Let's move on. I do not believe that it's 15 years old. Sorry, maybe 7 or something, but no, not 15. Shut up. All right. Da 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 da. Powerpuff Girls. So there was this episode called See Me, Feel Me, Know Me. Which Know Me is like, you know, it sounds like Know Me, but it's about a gnome. Like one of those little dwarfs that live in gardens and stuff like that. It was essentially about this gnome. He wanted to be like all powerful, and he was gonna rid the town of all evil in exchange for all their powers. And then it essentially turned into like this kind of like cult-like situation. And you might think, okay, well that's what it got what got it banned, but it was not because of the cult thing. It was because this character, as you can see on the screen, looks like Jesus. And there was also another scene where there were metal beams sticking out of the floor that kind of looked like crucifixes. And people lost their mind about that. And they wanted the episode gone. So it was gone. It was pulled out of the air. It was gone. So yeah, the cult was apparently not the issue. That was fine. That was completely fine. It was fine that it was kind of a cult. It was fine that it was ruled by some evil, all-powerful gnome. It was fine that it was like borderline communistic. That's fine. But Jesus. So they took it down. It was another Jesus moment. Yeah. How does it look like Jesus? They said it resembled him. Like, it wasn't even supposed to be him, but they said that it was like, it looked too much like him, and the metal beams looked too much like crucifixes. So they took it down. Yeah. Simple as. It was an episode that was mostly in song, as far as I remember. I'm not sure if I remembered correctly. But it wasn't like, it was like a song. It was a full-on song. Yeah. I don't really see it. Well, if you try hard enough, I guess. If you try to find bad and evil in something, I'm sure you'll be able to find it if you try hard enough. Alright, next one. God. This one. Okay. This is a Cow and Chicken episode. And the name of the episode is... Let me get it. The Buffalo Gals. And the reason why this was banned was because in this episode there were lesbians, and they were kind of, you know, a stereotype of like what lesbians usually were. There were a lot of like there was like non-stop lesbian jokes. They were essentially just completely the stereotype, and one character was named 𝕋𝐸𝐿, and her sole purpose was to chew carpet. So it faced a lot of backlash. People were outraged by it, and it was immediately pulled from circulation. Yeah. Yeah, it was just gone. People were like, this is not good. So it was removed, and I don't even think it came back. So, well, that was it. That was literally it. Alright, it's a little too suggestive. I mean, it's still a kid show, so yeah. Next one. Oh, it's actually a GIF. That's actually nice. I thought it was a picture. So, this episode is an episode from, as you can see, The Simpsons. And this episode was about the fact that their car was accidentally parked in a spot where they were not allowed to be parked, which was right under the World Trade Center. The episode was completely not related to any of like the incidents of, you know, the World Trade Center, but this was actually aired far before that. But during that time, this episode, and actually a lot of other episodes from different cartoons, were taken down for a while. They were banned for a while. because people don't really want to have anything to do with that. If the Twin Towers appeared in the background of something, it was taken down for a while. It came back up again later, but for a while it was just gone. Yeah. It was a traumatic time. Yeah, that's why they took everything down. But yeah, I was actually surprised that there was quite a lot of cartoons that had like the same reason as to why they were taken down. People were overly sensitive after that happened. I was in high school at the time. It was a really, really big happening, and like I think any sort of association with it just got like removed for a while. So the 90s had absolutely no filter. I mean, the accident did not happen in the 90s still. It was just this episode was not really about that either. It just featured them. It was not about the accident. Alright, next one. This one. Another Pokemon episode. This episode was the episode called Miniryu no Densetsu, or The Legend of Miniryu. It was banned. Okay, wait. It was about Ash, who wanted a rare Pokemon, Miniryu, but the warden didn't want it, and he chose violence. There were a lot of guns in this episode, and that wasn't the only thing. At some point, there is actually Meowth, and he is seen wearing an Adolf Hitler-like mustache. Because of this and the guns, this episode did not air in the West. It only aired in Japan. It did not air in the West. Did not get an English dub. And yeah, it was just never seen outside of Japan. But the problem with this was actually that in this episode, there was a pretty important event that happened that, you know, was never talked about anymore because the episode was left out. Because this was the episode that Ash actually caught his 30 Tauros, and you know, a lot of people didn't know how he actually got them. Yeah, he got the 30 Tauros in this episode, and it kind of left a plot hole for a lot of people who didn't see the episode. Where did Ash get all those Tauros? Well, watch the episode to find out, I guess. But yeah, this caused like a major plot hole. I did always wonder where they came from. Well, now you know. It was in this episode. If you're interested to find out, maybe you can find a Japanese version to watch this. Maybe. We'll go to the Cartoon Black Market for this. I mean, it aired in Japan. It did air. It was not banned in Japan. It was only banned outside of Japan. So I'm sure there's like a Japanese version. It just isn't dubbed. That's it. Okay, next one. This one is also quite interesting. This is a Mickey Mouse episode, and this is Clarabelle Cow. And this episode was just about another one of Mickey's shenanigans. It was some sort of barn dance. It's just everyone playing fun instruments and stuff like that. But this got banned, and the reason why it got banned is because of this specific scene where Clarabelle Cow is seen reading a book called 3 Weeks. And 3 Weeks was considered a very controversial book around that time. From what I could find, it was an erotic romance novel. And they wanted no associations with that anymore, so they took it down, they banned it. It was yabai. And it was only in Ohio. It was not everywhere else. Only in Ohio. It was aired everywhere else but Ohio. Only in Ohio. You can check it out. Maybe. I don't know. If you don't live in Ohio, I guess. Yeah. Only in Ohio. Because of this one scene where there's this book. Alright, next. Oh god. Ha! More Beavis and Butthead. And this episode, what was the name? It was called Way Down Mexico Way. Well, that's it. Thank you so much. Didn't expect to see some episode I didn't know about yet. So really did your homework. Hey, I always do my homework. I'm a good kid. Thank you so much, Desert. Thank you so much for your soup. What are they doing? Well, I can explain. So this episode is about Butthead. He watches a program. He sees taco shells in it, and he's like, "Damn, I need to go to Mexico." So they go into this dumpy truck, where there's this narcotic smuggler who's called Dave. And Beavis and Butthead, like, they want to get some explosives at some point. So they arrive in Mexico, and they go to different vendors. They ask for, like, fireworks. Can't get it. But they end up finding a stand where they sell tacos. And they're like, okay, we want 2 tacos. So around that stand, they find a dog. And as a joke, they feed the dog killer hot sauce. But it turns out that the dog apparently belongs to the owner of the taco stand where they got the tacos. So in order to get like revenge on them, this taco stand owner puts killer hot sauce in their tacos. And because of that, you know, they go crazy, they're on fire, they ask for water. And then he gives them some unclean water. And because of that, they get sick and they get diarrhea, like violent diarrhea, and it goes absolutely crazy. And then what is seen here is it's Beavis and Butthead eating a condom full of pills, probably for the diarrhea. I don't know. It was apparently only at the end of the episode, so only that part of the episode got banned. The first part of the episode is there, but the second part of the episode got banned. Yeah. The best part of the Pokemon is in one scene, Team Rocket try and do their motto on the sign, and to get them to stop, the guy tries to shoot them. Holy shit, that is intense. They have like a lot of anime with like, what is it, guns and stuff in them, where like 4Kids or something just removes it. I know. I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh the other day, and I think there was this one scene, where like you have these people with a gun or something, but like their gun is not actually there, and all they're doing is like pointing at someone, and you can clearly see that they just removed the guns or something. But yeah, okay, Beavis and Butthead, condoms full of pills. They ate it, and I don't know, maybe it cured the diarrhea. Find out in the episode. Watch it. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Alright, next one. This is gonna be the last one. Another one. SpongeBob. SpongeBob. So this episode, this was a pretty interesting one, and I did not actually know about this one yet. And the reason why is because it's a newer episode, and I'm not very familiar with the newer episodes of SpongeBob. But what this essentially was is this episode was called Quarantine, and it was about a pandemic. And the reason why it like got banned, or it got like not aired till 2022, is because they were planning to air this in 2020. And in 2020, you know, we had our own little pandemic, little big pandemic here, and the timing was just really unfortunate. So they choose not to air it until 2022. They banned it for a while. Yeah, the timing was really, really awkward. And it actually makes me wonder, like, I tried to find it, I couldn't find it exactly.
Thank you.
If they made this because of what happened, or if the timing was just really, really bad. Because from what I could read, they did get the copyright in 2020, so I guess the episode was already done, so they were probably working on it before that already. But I'm not sure. It just seems that the timing is very unfortunate. Probably bad timing. What are the odds? It's crazy. It's almost some kind of like Simpson thing. Wasn't that like a big Simpson thing that they like predict stuff? I know people always talk about that. This is the Simpsons predict stuff. Production was in late 2019. But like that was also around the time where I think the first COVID cases were found. So yeah, there's something about them predicting a lot. I have watched like a little bit of The Simpsons, but not so much. Like this, it was in here. It was all in the same room, like The Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, and stuff like that. I was more of a South Park kid, so my brother's more of a Simpsons kid. Yeah, The Simpsons prediction sounds more like a creepypasta. It does sound kind of like it, but yeah, this was the final episode I wanted to talk about. It's quarantine crap. It is available. You can watch it now. It was aired. They started airing it 2022, so maybe you can check it out. I think it was like Mr. Krabs trying to spread the disease or something like that. So yeah, creepypasta deep dive next. It would be really interesting. I really hope you enjoyed this, by the way. I enjoyed doing this homework. I enjoyed talking about it. Sorry if I'm not super good at like presenting stuff. I'm still trying to learn. But I hope it was clear, and I hope you learned something. I hope you had some fun. And I love learning like this, and I learned some stuff from you as well. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot, so I definitely look forward. Like, I was kind of scared of this. I was kind of scared that this would be like, oh my god, it's gonna be a mess, and I'm gonna be so bad at it, wow. But this was so cool and so interesting. I definitely want to do more of this. If you have interesting topics that you would also like me to deep dive in, don't hesitate to like suggest them. I don't think I can do every single one of them, but if there's something that really, really, really interests me as well, because I do want to do things I'm also personally interested in, of course, let me know. I might want to do it, and yeah, it's a very relatable topic for everyone. I'm sure most of us knew a few of them, but some surprises too. I was actually wondering which one was like the most surprising to you. Which one did you not know? For me, I think it was like half know, half don't know. You're a great, hardworking worker. I'll do my best for you, of course. You know what? 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 You deserve it. You deserve it. That's why. Peppa Pig and some other cartoons. I think the Peppa Pig one was like the biggest wow for me. That was crazy. This was a fun time.
Roxy. I learned a lot more than I thought I would. Hoping for more deep dives soon. Carrot.
I'll do my best. All right. I'll do my best for that. Thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for listening to me, taking some time. Hope you like it, and I look forward to tomorrow's stream. Tomorrow will be a video game karaoke stream. Whoopsie. I should still make my announcement today. Thank you so much, Slurp, for the 10 gifts. Thank you so much. So generous. Wow. ZAPPU. Thank you for the stream. Thank you so much, Sunset Tower. I hope to see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be really cool. Obviously I couldn't take everyone's requests. There were like an insane amount of like requests on like Twitter. I legit thought I was gonna get ratioed in the beginning. Because I saw like it only at some point it only had like 60 likes, and I saw like the comments were going up by like 60, almost passing there, and I was like, shit, I'm gonna get ratioed. No, not like this, you know, not like this. But I didn't get ratioed. Thank God. You saved me. So alright. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for today. Rest well. Sorry if the stream was a little late. This week is a little awkward. But tomorrow I'll see you at an earlier time. So hope to be able to see you there. 𝕖𝐿𝐿𝐿 ROURIN. Let's raid. Raid someone. Let's see. And it will be a raid. Raid. Let's go. Reroll raid. Oh. Thank you for today, 𝕖𝐿𝐿𝐿 ROURIN. Bye bye. Thank you.
This was fun.
Wow, thank you.
You were great. Looking forward to the next deep dive. Rock love.
Thank you so much, Jello Noel. Thank you. Thank you for the super. 𝕖𝐿𝐿𝐿 ROURIN. Bye bye. Bye bye. Wish Rito a good day, okay? And send her a lot of love from me, okay? Rito don rabu. Bye bye. Wow, wrong one.